Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for all your love and all your support. It truly means a lot to me, guys. Right, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about your credit score. What is the credit score? How do you make your credit score better? What do you do if you have poor credit score? My name is Linda, and on this channel I talk about motherhood, nursing, personal finance, faith, and life in the UK in general. So if you're interested in these topics, please subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to like and comment and share this video. I decided to create this video about credit score because when I first came to the UK many years ago, I didn't know anything about credit score. But as time goes on, when you start thinking about getting a mortgage or borrowing any kind of loan, you start thinking about your credit score, right? Because this affects how likely you are to get approved for your loan or get approved for your mortgage. Please, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial expert. I'm only sharing practical steps that have helped me personally to build my credit and be able to get approved for borrowing. Right, so first things first, what is a credit score? A credit score is a number recorded on your credit report that tells lenders or potential lenders how you've managed credit in the past and how likely you are to repay back any borrowing or any loan that they give you. So it looks at your past behavior with credit and how you managed money in the past to be able to determine and predict if you're a good candidate for borrowing. I know some people don't care about credit score, but it becomes really important when you're considering going for a mortgage or going for big purchases like buying a car or going for a loan. So in the long run, you need to be thinking about how to make sure that you have a good credit score so that you're likely to be approved for borrowing for a mortgage or for higher purchase or big expenses. So when you go to borrow credit or borrow money in the UK, what these companies do is that they run a credit check on you to see how likely you are to pay back these loans and how you've managed money in the past. And if you have a good credit score, you are likely to get accepted for that borrowing or for that loan. Right, let's talk about ways you can actually improve your credit score to get approved for borrowing. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your address is correct on all your bills. Because if you've not got the correct address on all your bills, this can actually raise an identity issue when they try to run the credit check on you. Sometimes people move houses and then forget to change their address on their existing bill. This then becomes a problem because when you go to apply for a loan or a mortgage and they run a credit check on you, it might still be showing up that you're living in your former house, and this can actually affect your credit score. The next thing you need to do is make sure that you are registered to vote. So you need to register to join the electoral poll in the UK. It shows that to some extent this person is responsible and they're actually involved in voting in the country, and this generally increases your credit score. The next thing you need to do is make sure you're registered for your credit report. So you need to be using sites like Experia.com, TransUnion, Equifax. These websites will generate a credit score for you, and you need to be monitoring your credit score so that you're able to see when it's going up and when it's coming down. Also, this allows you to monitor your credit report, so you can regularly check your credit score on this website. And if you see that your credit score has changed or is saying that there's a red flag on your record when you know that there shouldn't be a red flag, say for instance it's saying that one of your bills was not paid on time or that you missed a bill, but you know you actually paid this bill on time, you need to be monitoring this thing. You need to be ringing them to get it clarified on your record because that can actually affect your credit score. One good thing is even if you have a bad credit score, don't worry about it. With time, you can actually get to fix it as long as you've taken the right steps and the right action. Another thing you can do to improve your credit score is making sure your bills are paid on time. So make sure that you don't miss a payment on all your bills. Make sure that you don't have a late payment if possible on all your bills, because this will actually improve your credit score. If you miss a payment or if you have a late payment, it can have a negative impact on your credit score. This also applies to any parking fines, speeding tickets, county council fines. Make sure that they are all paid on time because this will actually impact your credit score. Another way you can actually improve your credit score is to apply for a credit card. So I know traditionally we've been taught that borrowing is bad and that you should avoid borrowing at all costs. But actually, having a credit card can help you build up your credit score because it shows lenders that you're able to borrow money, use that money responsibly, and then repay that money back on time. However, you need to be thinking carefully before you apply for a credit card, because if you get rejected for a credit card, this can actually have a negative impact on your credit score. Basically, the more you get rejected for borrowing, the more you are likely to get rejected for borrowing, because these companies start to feel like if you were rejected previously, there must have been a reason for that. Therefore, they are less likely to give you credit. And also, even when they approve the credit, they end up giving you a high interest rate because they consider you high risk. Consider your financial situation, consider how much you can actually afford to borrow on your credit card. Make sure that you don't take out any credit card that you cannot afford, and also that you're paying off your credit card at the end of every month. So what you need to do is take out your credit card, use the credit card for your daily expenses, so your day-to-day shopping, and at the end of the month, pay back the money that you owe in full. These companies can see that you're borrowing money regularly, that you're able to pay back at the end of the month. Also, please don't take out any credit card that you don't need. Some people end up having 4, 5 credit cards, and before you know it, they end up going into debt. In my opinion, having 1 or 2 credit cards maximum should be enough for you, as long as you don't have a business. And to be honest, if you manage these credit cards well, you're able to build your credit score. So you should not need to have 4 or 5 credit cards, because that can potentially push you into debt where you are unable to pay back all this money that you borrowed. Also, when you're using your credit card, you need to keep an eye on how much you're actually spending on this card. So every credit card will have a credit limit, which is the highest amount that you're allowed to spend on that credit card. Please do not go over the limit on your credit card, because this can actually have a negative impact on your credit score. You need to be keeping an eye on how much you're spending and pay attention to your credit utilization rate. Basically, that means the percentage of your credit limit that you've actually used. Ideally, you need to keep your credit utilization rate less than 25%. So that shows the lenders that although you have access to credit, you never use more than 25% of your credit limit, which means you're good with money and you know how to manage your money efficiently. So this really boosts your credit score. Also, try not to increase your credit limits unnecessarily. So basically, what happens is that if you have a credit card and you've been using a credit card well for some time, your credit card provider will write to you telling you that you're eligible to increase your credit limit. This usually means that you're managing the credit that you have well, and they would like to borrow you more money. However, it can be very risky, because if you borrow more money, you are more likely to struggle to pay back this money and potentially go into debt. So you really need to be thinking hard about whether you need to increase your credit limit. In my opinion, if you don't need that extra credit and that extra money, there's no need to increase your credit limit. Just continue managing your current credit card limit. Also, make sure you're constantly monitoring your credit card transactions. So you need to be keeping an eye on all the deductions on your account and all the expenses you're making on the credit card. If you see any suspicious transaction or any transaction that you know that you haven't made personally, you need to be contacting your credit card company so that they investigate it for you. Another tip for managing your credit card is that you need to make sure that you're paying more than the minimum payment. So every month you will get your credit card statement telling you the minimum payment that you need to make on your credit card. In my opinion, the best way to manage your payment is to set up a standing order so that a specific amount of money is going out to pay off the balance on your credit card. And then on top of that, you can then make additional payments so that you're able to clear the balance on your credit card a lot faster. So this way you never miss a payment on your credit card, because missing a payment on your credit card can negatively impact on your credit score. Also, you need to make sure that you avoid cash withdrawals from your credit card. So avoid withdrawing physical cash from the ATM using your credit card, because number one, you get charged every time you do this, and second of all, it might raise a few eyebrows because they're not able to track what you are spending this money on. So I will always recommend using your credit card for purchases, especially online, instead of actually withdrawing cash from the credit card. Also, to maintain a good credit score, please do not apply for too many borrowing at one time. By that I mean, do not apply for multiple loans, credit cards, hire purchase all at the same time, because every time you apply to borrow money, they will run a credit check on you. And if they see too many credit checks at one time, it may be considered a red flag, which would mean you will get rejected for borrowing. So ideally, you need to have gaps between your application to borrow credit. Another thing that's quite useful is that before you apply for loans or before you apply for credit cards, you can use comparison websites to tell you the likelihood of your application being accepted. So you can use websites like comparethemarket.com or Money Supermarket to compare different credit cards, and it can help you look at the different interest rates and also the likelihood of your application being accepted, so that before you even apply for a credit card, you have an idea of if your application will be accepted. And if the website is already telling you that your application may be rejected, then there's no point applying for that credit card, because if you apply for that credit card and get rejected, this can have a negative impact. Hopefully, if you apply these steps, with time you will get to build a good credit score and you will get approved for your loans, for your mortgages, for your hire purchase, or any other kind of borrowing that you wish to take on. Please, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial expert. I'm only sharing practical steps that have helped me personally to build my credits and be able to get approved for borrowing. And that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please like and comment. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if there are any other practical steps to build your credit score. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Linda Justina. Hope you found this video helpful. Till next time, take care. Bye bye.